Okay, on problem number 6, at noon, a train leaves Washington, D.C., headed for Charleston, South Carolina, a distance of 500 miles. The train travels at 60 miles per hour. At 1 p.m., a second train leaves Charleston, headed for Washington, D.C., traveling at 50 miles per hour. How long after the train leaves Charleston will the two trains pass each other? So I'm going to do the whiteboard and try to understand what I've just read. This is problem number 6. I think we just completed 5, right? So I'll put number 6 down for you. And I'm going to do a straight line between Charleston, South Carolina, and Washington, D.C. So I'm just going to say SC for South Carolina, and then D.C. is over here. Again, you can read this thing as much as you want. So I'm going to put a little line over here, and I'm going to say that's the train track between South Carolina and D.C. Now, how long is the train track? All right, the train track, but by the way, they're parallel train tracks, by the way. One's traveling towards D.C., one's traveling towards South Carolina. All right, so, again, it's not a memorization problem, it's a reading problem. It says a distance of 500 miles. So I'm going to say the distance between these two is 500 miles. All right, so I'm going to say the distance between those two is 500 miles. All right, what do we know about this? And I'll read this again to you. It goes on to say at noon, a train leaves D.C., and he leaves D.C. and he's heading towards South Carolina, a distance of 500 miles. And you can keep reading it as many times as you like. The train's traveling 60 miles per hour. At 1 p.m., the second train leaves Charleston, headed for D.C. So the D.C. train not only has a head start, but it's going faster. So I'm going to say something like this over here, all right? And they're going to meet here, all right? So let me put the D.C. tree down, and I'm going to write down, D1. I'm going to write down R1, and then I'm going to write down T1, all right? I don't know the distance, by the way. And again, read it as many times as you like. What I do know is going 60 miles per hour. I know that much, all right? What else do I know? This guy leaves at 12 noon, right? Leaves at 12 noon. The other guy leaves at 1 p.m., and he's heading towards D.C., all right? So I'm going to say, something like this over here. I'm going to call this D2, R2, and T2, all right? And again, part of this is just reading and understanding what you've just read. So the second train, right, how fast is the second train traveling? Well, it says it's traveling at 50 miles per hour. Write that down for you. All right, now, someone says, I don't know what the question is at this point. It says, the two trains will pass each other. That means they're going to meet. It says, how long after the train leaves Charleston? So I'm going to put down, I don't know that. It's X hours, by the way. I have no idea what that is. Right, I have an idea. It's a simple number. But now the question becomes is, how long has the D.C. train been traveling? Well, I hope you realize it's been traveling a longer amount of time, by the way. How much more time? An hour more. All right? This is hours. So I'm going to say X plus 1 hours. All right? So I got a visual down. Let me finish this up by filling out this distance for each of them. The top guy is 50x, and that's miles. And a D1 is going to be 60 times x plus, I put down x plus h, it's x plus 1. Sorry about that. X plus 1. And this, again, is miles. Now, I have no equation yet, but I think it's going to be pretty easy to put that down. And I'll tell you why. This whole distance here, go back to highlighter, this whole distance here has got to be from these two guys over here. So let's write that down. So we're going to write down 500 equals this guy's distance, which is 50x, plus this guy's distance, which is 60 times x plus 1. Let's keep going through it. I'm going to equation to solve now. There's going to be 50x plus 60x plus 60. I'm going to, simplify the sides a little bit further. That's 110x plus 60. I'm going to subtract 60 from both sides. And what do you get? 440. And then you get 110x. Divide both sides by 110, relatively simple to do. And what's x going to be? 4. Again, you may not know what x is, but I want to go through it with you. So this is going to be 4 hours. This is 50 miles per hour. What's this going to be? 200 miles. All right, let's do the other guy. Again, 60 miles per hour, but x plus 1 is going to be 5 hours. And 5 hours at 60 miles per hour is going to be 300 miles. Certainly going to cover 500 miles. Again, I realize somebody said, I don't know what the question is. Go back and read it. And what does it say? How long after the train leaves Charleston will the two trains pass each other? How long is that going to be? That's going to be in 4 hours. End of story. Thank you.